Hey guys, Shani back with another process video for the Love of Crafting and Sharing hop that where we where we post a video every month with a theme, and there's a bunch of crafty ladies that are awesome and are all playing along. So if you go down to the description box below, I will have all the ladies that are participating linked so you can go through and watch everybody's video. So it's really fun to see how everybody interprets the theme or the challenge differently each month. So, and they're all really awesome, very talented scrapbookers. So you'll get a lot of fun inspiration. So today's video, I'm sorry, I just realized I'm saying so a lot. Today's video, what I've done is I have a Maggie Holmes floral. It's from a paper pad. I think it's the Chasing Dreams paper pad. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry. It's very early in the morning and I am very tired. Sorry. I pulled out some white cardstock and cut it down, I think, to about 11 1/4 by 11 1/4. It gives it a nice chunky edge around. And now I've pulled out some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide spray and some Dilutions shimmer spray, both in peony kind of color, because it matches India's shirt in these photos really well. And I'm just splattering around. I haven't used the dilution sprays yet. I got them not that long ago, but I just haven't had a chance to play with them. So I wanted to see if they were more similar to the Heidi Swap Color Shine sprays. Sorry, my mind blanked for a second. They're very, I don't know. I think Heidi's are more soft and shimmery, and the Dilutions are more pigmented and vibrant and shimmery. So, but it was cool because you get a very nice kind of dimensional look, I guess you could say. You get to have the two different colors, and one is shimmer and one's a little darker. So I think it adds a little bit more interest to that background. Anyways, so I've gone ahead and layered 2 layers of paper behind, or 2 mats behind these photos. And I just lightly inked the edges of the last layer. I am so sorry. I am so tired. I cannot stop yawning. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these photos to each other and then add fun foam behind it. And I forgot to mention that the challenge or the theme for this month is Floral Frenzy. So it's all about using florals. So I did go ahead and add florals in that backing, the matte paper in the background. And then I also pulled out another floral paper that was a pink background. It's those flowers to the right that are fussy cut, and I fussy cut maybe about 1/3 of the page. And then the whole thing was, I had this really grand idea of what I wanted to do for Floral Frenzy, and then at the last minute some crazy life things happened whenever I was supposed to be editing the video, and we ended up at the emergency vet waiting in the parking lot for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So Chewy's fine. Everything's fine. For the time being, everything's good. Chewy ate grapes. And if you don't know, do not ever give your dog grapes. I didn't give him grapes. It was an accidental, he got into a bowl that we didn't think he could get to. But do not give your grapes. It causes kidney failure, renal failure, and possibly death. So there's something in grapes that is very poisonous to dogs. So please, please, please never give your dogs grapes. Off my soapbox. Sorry. While I was waiting for this paper to dry a little bit more, I kind of did some like background work, I pulled out some little heart felties from Whimsy Fox Crafts and one of her tabs. I pulled out a couple enamel flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, and I went ahead and found that love word, which was in one of my thickers packs. And the whole inspiration for this whole layout. Well, okay, so the photos of India, you might not be able to see on here because they're very tiny on her face, but she has little teeny tiny eyeballs stickers and on her face. Yeah, anyways, she got these build your own bunny sticker packs, and they had like little pages with a bunny, and then you add stickers to make their faces and stuff. So India built her own bunny on her own face. So, and she stuck the teeny tiny eyeball stickers on her eyelids. So it was very silly. We took photos. So then sorry, I'm saying so a lot. I did not mean to do that. My sister went to Hobby Lobby and they have all their Easter stuff on clearance. They just opened back up here last week. And she got me a bunch of Easter stickers. So I got these these were the inspiration for this whole layout. Because they have cute little floral crowns and floral frenzy. So then we're going to add all the flowers. I just pulled 3 of them out. So I went ahead and sorry, I'm getting behind on what's actually happening in the video. I attached the white cardstock to the background and then added gold photo corners to all 4 sides. They're Heidi Swap. This giant tag I think it's a Heidi Swap one as well, from maybe a couple of years ago or a couple of releases ago. I'm not sure exactly. Then I went through my die cut packs. At one point, I adhered all my die cuts to these, what are they called? Pocket sleeves. No. Page protectors. Whatever they're called. You know what I'm saying. They're just regular letter size. And I thought this was going to be a brilliant idea and I was going to love it and it'd be easy because I could just look at all of it. The idea is great, but I learned 2 things, is that I don't like flipping through a binder like that. I would rather like sift through the top, if that makes any sense. Like more like a file system rather than a notebook system. And I used permanent adhesive to attach them to the page protectors, which was really dumb and they're really hard to get off. So I'm reevaluating that system, obviously. I haven't done that in a while, and I'm thinking about doing something similar but very different that hopefully is going to work better. I ordered some repositionable adhesive, and we will go from there and see if that works. But I will share more later if it does work or whatever. So back to the layout. I pulled out a bunch of die cuts from Maggie Holmes, and I think this was from the Bloom collection. And then I also, these black and white or black and cream flowers are also Maggie Holmes. They're from, I think it's the Gather paper pad. It's the one that has the ballerinas in it. That's the one it's from. And they are fussy cut. I fussy cut those a long time ago during, I used a bunch of them for something else like a long, long time ago. And so I had those floating around and found them. And so I added those. And basically what we're doing is we're just adding a ton of floral and just tying it all together. Everything is kind of mismatched and doesn't really go together, but it's going to look really cool in the end. I was getting a little worried, but I really love how it turns out in the end, which I think is a good sign of any layout, or a good, I don't know what I'm saying, but any good layout, I feel like you always have that like, oh no, this is going to be bad, but you just push through and then it ends up amazing in the end. So I'm adding more foam behind this tag, and It'll make it 2 layers deep, but since the fun foam is really thin, it's not going to be that bad. And I like the added dimension because the page ends up very busy with all the floral, and then the foam being behind there and popping it up, it does help to just bring the focus back to the photo still. So I'm still just layering these together. Honestly, what it was is I was trying to build off of just this one part because my background was still drying, and it took a lot longer to dry than I thought it would, and I was getting a little impatient. So I will start sticking stuff down in just a second, and you'll see I do kind of smear that background a little bit, but I am able to cover up, for the most part, all the smeared parts, so you can't really tell they're really smeared. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the layout. And I think I run out. It might not be now. I think I end up have to switch out to my last roll of Stampin' Up! Adhesive. I am running out. So I had to pull out. Never mind. In another video that I also recorded yesterday, you'll see I run out and I have to pull out a different adhesive. But I really like the other one too, so we'll see what we do. Anyways, I'm just adding and tucking. The really cool thing about tucking like this is that whenever your floral, like that black and white one that I just added in there before, it's got a flat side on one side because it was the side of the paper, but I didn't want to waste it, and it was perfect because when you tuck it in, you can't even see that flat side. So I'm still just adding. I do pull out these next because they have some more. Pretty much what I did was I worked larger to smaller. So I added the largest ones in closest to the photo, like underneath, and then worked out going in that diagonal. But then I'll add the smaller and smaller at the very end. And I always finish off with a crap ton of sprinkly bits. So, and I added that little die cut. It's a Vicky Bouton, but I just wanted the very edge of it, the paper edge. I mean, the notebook edge to show, just to give it a little bit more texture right there. And I felt like there was kind of like a little white space, like trapped gap there, so it kind of helped that. And I don't know if you saw it. I could let it just slide by, but I am gonna, oh no, I haven't done it yet. Oh no, I did. Okay. I chopped my flare in half. It was kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but I just wanted the Easter part of that one. And then at the bottom, I'll tuck the Easter bunny one in so you just see bunny. So it'll say Easter at the top and bunny at the bottom. But I loved, it said Easter basket, and this wasn't from her Easter basket, but I loved that color because it fit that border perfectly, and she has that color in her shirt. So I just wanted to get that color in there, and so just tucking it behind there would be perfect, but I couldn't tuck it because I had all that foam. So you know what? Just use your products the way you need to use them and just chop it. It's fine. It will not hurt you. And if you needed the basket for another thing later, you could have another half. So, but I didn't, obviously. I mean, I think I kind of chopped the word off a little bit, but it's fine. We have more flair. It's fine. So now I'm just taking those bunnies and kind of trying to decide where I want them on the page, but I'm trying to figure out how I want the floral to be finished, like what kind of shape, I guess. So I'm just kind of filling in some of my other embellishments so that I don't run out of space or don't run out, like I don't want to, I want to create space for these elements so that like the love, so that it fits together right and it like kind of nestles in better than just being stuck on there later, like being an afterthought. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere down this love, and I'm going to do love your sense of humor because she's just hysterical and she is so her own person and it's amazing and I love it. So I just want to highlight that. It was really funny when she did this. I saw her with the sticker on her mouth and I thought it was hilarious. And then she shut her eyes to show me her eyeballs. And it was so funny because they're these teeny tiny little bunny rabbit eyeballs on her eyes. They're so funny. Anyways, it probably was one of those like you had to be there kind of moments, but it was really funny. So I pulled out these little tile alphas, and they are from Studio Calico, and they're just on a dark wood like kind of background. And I thought they'd be perfect because I did pull out these dark wood grain hearts. They were like color blocked a little bit. And so I thought that would just be, I like to add things like that, like if it's a pop of color or something, in threes so that everything feels balanced. And so having those two dark hearts and not having a third one to go with it, this brought in that third pop of dark brown, and I think it just finished it off really nicely. So then, and I think I think any other color, it would have blended into the background too much. I think the dark brown helped it stand out a little bit better too in the end, where another color would have blended in and you wouldn't have necessarily seen the title as well with all the flowers. And as you can see, it's already getting kind of busy, but if you've been around very long, you know I like a lot. So it will get more, I promise. But we're just going to keep tucking floral in and working. I am just adhering down and trying to, they don't have to be adhered down all the way. I just mostly adhere down the part that's going to be tucked. And like if there's like a big flat area of the floral, maybe that part, just so that the edges kind of stick up a little bit, not a lot, but just enough that everything's not super flat and smashed down. I like a lot of texture. And if you don't, that's totally fine. But if you don't like a lot of texture, you probably don't want to do this layout. It's probably not very inspiring to you. It's probably making you cringe, but that is just fine. Then I also, before I started filming, I punched out some of these little flowers in like a pale pink and a kind of soft coral color. And that is a Stampin' Up punch that was from Celebration, but it's getting carried over into the new catalog. So it's still available for purchase. And, I'm sorry, I can't see what this is where I pull out the Maggie Holmes the Maggie Holmes sticker book, the first one, and I just pulled out some of the coordinating floral in the pink and the coral color. And then I pulled out this cute little bunny. He was adorable. So I tuck him in it in a minute. But what I'm doing is I took a piece of scrap paper, and it's actually red on the other side. You'll see when I start adhering things down. I just stuck them on and then fussy cut them out. I just wanted to give it a white background because they're not only super thin, but some of them are clear. So I just wanted to add some more of that. And then I also pulled out some of the stickers were these little black florals, and I just did two, one for the top and one for the bottom. And I think it just helped balance out that bunny because he's so stark black instead of that soft black of the other ones I used before. And then I'm just still building and adding and gluing and tucking and layering. And I meant to say this earlier. I'm really sorry. This is a really long video because I just keep adding and adding and adding. I love how it turns out, and I hope you, even if you don't like all the stuff like I do, I hope at least somewhat you find some inspiration in this because I really love how this layout turned out. I was kind of nervous adding all these different florals from all these different collections that don't really go together at all and don't have the same kind of styles, but I really love the kind of craziness of it. It really sorry, getting so tongue-tied today. It really accentuates all of the different like flower types in it. So I did add just a tiny bit of ink across the bottom edge of that heart because the pink, I think it was just blending in too much. But I went ahead and tucked that just a little bit and adhered it down. Same over here with that brown and gold. I mean the wood grain and gold one. And oh, the other thing I was going to mention, when I add those punched flower shapes, right now they don't have centers. I'll add centers in a minute, but I do use Stampin' Dimensionals to add those down, so they pop up just a little bit. And then I did curl the petals up with my fingernail just a little bit as well. And I'm still just adding, so whenever, sorry, I'm getting too ahead of myself. My brain is going too much. Whenever I adhered these down, I am trying to keep them like kind of evenly spaced out, but not robotically spaced out, if that makes sense. Like they don't have to be like every 2 inches or anything like that, but I'm trying to like space them out in, sorry, I'm not articulating it right. Like I'm trying not to put the pale pink next to more pale pink. I'm trying to kind of sprinkle them down so that there's like a coral and then a pale pink and then a coral, and in that kind of way, if that makes sense. I also cut out just a couple of those little flowers of just the flower itself. And I'm using those in just a couple places, and they're not getting tucked. They're just kind of on the outside, but I think it kind of gives more of that sprinkly kind of look and keeps it more organic looking. And then these little labels, these little word strips that I'm cutting right now, it was one of the branding strips for this paper pad. From the Maggie Holmes paper that I use, it's either the yellow paper in the background or from the flowers that I cut out. I'm not sure which one it was from, but it had those across the top. There's like a background paper that has a bunch, they look like they're on washi tape, and I just cut those out and used those and tucked them in. Then now I'm trying to figure out where I want to place these bunnies and to kind of evenly space them out as well. And then I'll just adhere those down. They have really good adhesive on the back. They are puffy stickers, so they stick pretty well, and they have a little bit of give so that when you like turn the page and stuff, they won't pop off or anything like that. And then I'm taking these peony colored, what are they called? Heart felties. They are from Whimsy Fox Crafts. Iris has an Etsy shop over, no, that didn't make sense. I was going to say over on Etsy, and that's just repetitive. She has a shop over on Etsy, and it's amazing, and she has a bunch of really cool handmade stuff. So, and then Scrap and Happy Studio, who I use those other little enamel flares. This little wood button with the butterfly on it is from her as well. And it's the one, I made a layout. I might have already posted the video. I'm not sure. But I dropped one of the buttons. There was a set of 3 and I used 2 of them. And then I dropped one of them so I couldn't use it. And I couldn't find it for the life of me. But I recently cleaned up the floor, and I got a new chair, so I had to like really clean up the floor because it's a wheelie chair, and I had to get the plastic mat and all that. So I found it. Anyways, I wanted to add it into this. So now I'm going through, I have these little flower shaped sequins that are already got adhesive on them. They are from Stampin' Up. And I just pulled the purple ones out and added the purple ones to all of these little punched flowers. And then I'm going in and I pulled out 2 different Nuvo drops. Let me see what the colors are. One is Bubblegum Blush. That's the little bit more corally kind of color, peachy. And then the other one is Shimmering Rose. And I just did that, the 2 colors to coordinate with whatever color the flower was. So the Bubblegum Blush coordinated better with the corally colored flowers, and then the shimmering rose went with the lighter pink ones. Now I've just pulled out some little gold hearts, also from the Maggie Holmes sticker book, and I'm just sprinkling a couple around, and then I added one inside the O for the love. And I don't know what that is that I was trying to stick on there. I couldn't see it. A minute ago, I also forgot to mention I added a couple little butterflies, and they were fussy cut from some paper. I'm not sure what paper, from a 6x6 pad or a 6x8 pad. But, oh, and then I messed up and I had to go back and fix it. But those butterflies, they're teeny tiny, and I fussy cut them like a while ago, and I just folded them up in half and then back down a little bit where they were still kind of sticking up. Their wings were still sticking up a little bit, and then adhered them down with my Nuvo glue so that their wings would stay up like that. Now I'm just going in and adding some puffy stickers. Sorry about that. Some of those are Maggie Holmes and some are Chamel's Little by Little collection. And I'm just I'm trying to keep everything kind of in threes, but also just keep it like feeling well spaced out, or like even, like balanced. So just kind of adding and adding and adding. And then, oh, this is my little tray of just like random little bits. I have like little buttons and little rhinestones and stuff in there. And I did pull out just the light pink buttons, and then I didn't have a third one, so I do go digging and find a third one in a second. And then I pulled out some little wood veneer flowers just because it added another kind of texture and look to the flowers. And then I'll adhere those down with Nuvo adhesive. And the buttons, whenever I adhere those down, I will use Tombow Mono. Oh, look, I'm doing the buttons first. So I'm adding the buttons with the Tombow Mono because it does dry, still kind of sticky and kind of rubbery. So the buttons are less likely to pop off over time because of the shiny finish. Regular adhesive, sometimes they'll pop off. So then I'll use regular Nuvo adhesive for the wood veneer pieces. And then I'm also just tucking those in a little bit so that they are more part of the cluster rather than added in embellishment on top of everything. Because they are kind of large, I didn't want to just add them as sprinkly bits. Adding just a little bit more of Nuvo drops. This one I think is Summer Sunset, because it might be Enchanting Pink. I'm not, oh no, sorry, never mind. I couldn't see it at first. It's Love Potion. It is one of the Dream Drops, I think, and it dries like super shimmery. It's really pretty. And I'm just kind of filling in, adding just a little bit more embellishment along the outside, filling in any weird gaps or spaces. I did try to make sure there was no random white spaces when I was tucking flowers, and tried to hide all those. But if there was anything like that was even kind of a white space, I added a Nuvo drop to kind of disguise it, hide it a bit. I'm adding just a tiny bit of journaling under here just to mention what the photos were, like what India had done, what was on her face, and just talking about the sticker book. So, and then that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really love how this layout turned out. It was super fun. I am not usually one to mix, like if the florals, like I'm sorry, I'm not finishing thoughts. When I was a kid, I did not like to mix my toys if they weren't similar styles. So I'm not one to mix styles like that with the flowers, but I really love how it turned out. And I think adding and adding and adding so that it wasn't just like two styles that didn't go together and it was a bunch, I think that really helped. So if you watched this whole video and have stayed along this whole time, thank you so much. please go watch all the other ladies and like this video if you liked it. It helps YouTube to understand that people want to watch it. And subscribe if you want to see more stuff. And thank you again. Have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Bye.